What up, Lee Doomhammer? This is the Well Thought Out Twinkles, and we're coming at ya. And there's nothing you can do to stop us. Because I got my main man, Patrick, here. Patrick Marks. What up, Patrick?
Oh, hi.
What up, man?
Okay, that's a little much, but okay.
Well,
How are you guys doing today? We have a new segment starting this week in which I am hosting, so get out of my chair. We're going to have to look at last week, see who did real well. And the number one team in the league right now is Kevin Bishop with the Well Thought Out Twinkles. And he outscored everybody and also won his game. What do you have to say about that?
First of all, I'm glad to be here on the show.
Cool.
It's a real honor to be on such a prestigious show with you.
I mean, I'm glad
Patrick.
you were able to make the trip out.
Power picks. But what was your question?
So, what exactly do you think you did well this week? Maybe some things you could improve for next week, even though you did pretty well.
Well, I think I did really well just picking players to start. I really don't have any depth whatsoever, so it really wasn't hard to pick which players to insert in my starting lineup.
So, saying you don't really have any depth, what about one of the quarterbacks on your bench, Marcus Mariota?
Well, he had a good game, but he really had the game handed to him by Jameis Winston. There wasn't really much he had to do except throw the touchdowns.
Well, let me interrupt you there real quick. Wasn't there a bet on the rookie quarterbacks this week, and how did that turn out for you?
Interesting you had mentioned that. Actually, there was a bet, and it was between Marcus...
Hang on. We don't need to go into detail about what bets did or did not happen.
Hey.
Let's just...
When I invite you on the show, you can talk. For now, you need to shut up. Go ahead.
There was a bet, and it was between me and Pfeiffer, the Amir Cats, between which quarterback would score more points, between Mariota and Winston. A lot of people picked Winston, but I said Mariota, and I won a Frosty out of it.
There you go. Has he paid up yet?
No, we're thinking about going double or nothing.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to get about 60 Frosties by the end of the season.
That's a pretty good tour. So, well, that's it for this segment. Up next, I think we're gonna talk about.
Patrick, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's good to be
Patrick
here.
Marks.
I'm really happy to be here this week.
Patrick's Power Picks. So last week we kind of just went through. You did your picks, and we just kind of went down the bracket that we did for the week. But this week we got some different questions up for you.
Really?
Because we're a week into the season. We got some reactions from week one.
Okay, let's go. Let's.
What's your can't fix stupid pick of the week?
Well, what I would have to say there is one of the teams who, as I'm sure you're aware, didn't do too great last week, even though I picked him. He left some important players on his bench while starting Calvin Johnson, getting 4.9 points, I believe, in fantasy, or less. He left Eifert on the bench when he went off for a monster game, scoring 25-plus points. And the news is, this year, tight ends are hot. You don't want to leave one sitting on your bench in a PUD matchup game. which, as I'm sure you guys all know, Brad Piper of the Sixers with 3 X's did this past week.
Yeah, I think anytime you got a top receiver going up against the Chargers, you got to sit him. And anytime you have a tight end on your bench, you're stupid. You can't fix that.
You can't fix stupid, man.
So, what's your biggest regret?
For my picks?
Again, yeah.
I mean, I would probably say my biggest regret would be picking the Sixers. If I had known that you had such poor management from a manager, I wouldn't have picked it. I thought Brad was better than that. Didn't do a great job.
Yeah, that one's going to go down as can't fix stupid from Patrick. Alright, so let's just get right into what everybody came to the show for. Patrick's Power Picks.
Excuse me.
What are you doing there?
I'm just having a refreshing drink
Okay,
of Mountain Dew.
we're in the middle of a show.
Yeah, and Mountain Dew is my favorite drink. It's the only reason I agreed to come on the show
Can't
is
wait.
because you provided Mountain Dew.
Well, we got our weekly bracket here. It's got our weekly matchups. And so basically we're just going to go down the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to name your picks.
Okay.
We're going to go a little bit faster this time. So first one we got A Will to Live and the Well Thought Out Twinkles.
Okay, well, I'm sure, as you guys know, that I'm going to pick A Will to Live because I just don't like Kevin very much. And that's all I have to say about that.
I have a feeling we're going to know what your biggest regret is next week. All Stills with a Little Luck versus Perfect Season.
Okay, so starting off here, All Stills with a Little Luck won last week. I'm gonna go and stick with them for the win. Perfect season, maybe a perfect losing season.
That'd be an imperfect season if you ask me. Gronk If You're Horny versus the Mad Dog.
Okay, after finding out what our official website is on My Fantasy League, I figured out we're talking about Rob Gronkowski, so I'm gonna stick with Rob Gronkowski here.
Okay. Let's go to the Sixers versus the Cheetah Bird. We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go back up like a snake draft. So
Snake draft.
Sixers
I think that's
versus
Don't you guys do auction drafts?
sometime.
Okay. So what I'm gonna go here with is obviously if one Kevin can't win, we're gonna go with the other one. So we're gonna drop a big deuce on here. That's a backwards 2.
It's a 2.
Sure.
The Cheaterberry 1 versus Cheaterberry 3.
So out of the cheater berries, Tim is one of them, and Lane is the other one. Besides Kevin. Well, Cheaterberry 3 won last week, so I'm gonna continue that trend and write an upside down 3.
Cheaterberry 3 is looking good this year. I think that's a good pick.
Okay.
So, right before our next game is going to be the game of the week. That's very exciting. Before we get into the game of the week, a little message out there to Will.
Well, go ahead and set your lineup now. It is Wednesday. The games start tomorrow. You can still change your lineup after tomorrow, but once those players play, it's locked.
And now for your Patrick's Power Pick, game of the week.
So, coming up this week, we have the game of the unbeatens that nobody thought would be unbeaten at this point in the year. Somehow they've managed to find their way all the way this far into the season. Both have not lost a game yet. We have Operation Fat Matt versus the Amir Cats. So, really, both these teams should lose. From what I've seen in the statistics, the Meerkats might have had the lowest scoring win ever. Probably not, but maybe. This is my first year as League Insider. I don't really know. I don't keep track. Operation Fat Matt has Matthew Stafford. Not that great. But from what I know about the managers, one goes to KU Pharmacy School. The other one is Jacob Pfeiffer of the Meerkats. And I don't really like KU. And the Meerkats resemble Wildcats. So, row, row, row! We're going to go and pick the Meerkats again.
Alright. That's a good pick.
I think so, too.
And Operation Fat Matt might be devastated for their first loss.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're all going to be devastated that one of those teams wins this week.
Does that make you feel bad about your pick?
No. I make my decisions based on skill and knowledge.
Alright. We'll see.
Any thoughts about that, sir?
No,
That's
I mean,
what
it's
I
your
thought.
pick,
Okay.
so I'm not going to judge, but
Okay, and my name is Patrick Schefter Marks, and I'm signing off. Goodbye.
make sure to hit up Patrick's Twitter handle at League Doomhammer News
Hey,
on Twitter.
at Doomhammer News,
So,
not .com.
alright, we'll see you next week on Patrick's Power Picks.